This week on TGC News, Springfield Armory names their gun after a car, Israeli Buls, Wilson silencers, and a pork sword pistol. TacPack is an enthusiast subscription service that is focused on bringing you the stuff you need straight to your door on a monthly basis. Every month is different, and you can be met with gun parts, accessories, cleaning gear, or even some bigger and cooler shenanigans. And because you're watching TGC, if you use the code TGC Knife, you'll get a free ABKT knife. And if you use the code TGC Brake, you will get a free muzzle brake. Only when you punch them in over at TacPack.com. Welcome back to another episode of TGC News, the only gun news show that covers things you actually care about. My name is Jon Patton. We've been gone for a little bit. We missed a show last week, so there's a ton of stuff to cover. Before I get into that, real quick, I just want to say thank you to everyone that hits like on this video. If you want an internet high five from me, hit like right now. All right, that was dumb. Okay, how about some news? I suppose we should just jump right into the big one this week. The company behind this new gun has seemingly been unable to shake the controversy that surrounded gun laws in their home state of Illinois. As I remember it, Springfield Armory and Rock River were both paying the same lobbyist. That lobbyist was working on gun laws at the state level, and the guy decided it was a good idea to kind of make a carve-out where the brands, those two companies, didn't have to abide by a certain gun law, but the public did. It's really, really not a good look, and it really has been a stain on Springfield's brand for a few years since it happened. Every time I have ever mentioned them here on the show, the comments are full of hate, just full of it. However, the brand is still around and still surviving, so I would almost bet that that news never really made it beyond the enthusiast level of the gun community. Either way, they've got a new gun, and I'll tell you what, it looks pretty good. Is it good enough to overcome the stigma? I don't know. Let's talk about it. The gun is called the Hellcat. It is clearly aimed at taking down the reigning small 9mm champ, the SIG P365. On cursory glance, the gun kind of looks like an XD that's been updated. It has a 3-inch hammer-forged barrel, front and rear slide serrations, a distinct lack of a grip safety. The sights are a U-notch rear and a tritium front. The grip texture looks really good on the surface. And most importantly, the mags hold one more round than the standard 365 mags at 11 rounds. The gun will also ship with a 13-round mag as well. Taking this gun just on the features and assessing it, things are positive. I like the way the slide looks. Putting my hands on it will confirm or deny if the serrations work. The Beretta APX looked really good on paper, but it was a real big disappointment in hand. The sights on this thing, they look great. I love having as many rounds as possible in the mag, so that gets a big old check from me. And the grip texture has a little marketing speak attached because they say it's pressure activated. But what they've done is create sort of a dual layer texture. The outer layer is flattened off and comfortable, but when you press down, you lock into the more aggressive texture that's sort of hidden below. It's a really smart idea. This gun, in my eyes, is what a lot of people want. More rounds, smaller gun, good sights, usable grip texture, and unlike some of the Springfield handguns of the past with the grip zone and grip safety, this lacks that nonsense. The MSRP on this gun is the same as the 365 at $599, and this has me wondering, will the consumer market set aside the frustrations with Springfield to try out this gun? I know you guys are probably already firing up your keyboards now to tell me your thoughts and tell me I'm a moron for even covering this, but I'll tell you what, I think we need to see if this is as good as it looks. Raise your hand if you want us to review this. The next gun is interesting for a totally different reason. The company is called Bul Armory, and they're based out of Israel. They're working on reaching into the US market and are bringing something way off track from their normal offerings. Most of their guns are high-end sort of race guns, 1911 and 2011 style pistols that just ooze cool. This new one, though, completely different than that. It's called the Cherokee, and the feature set is really simple. At its core is a 17-round mag. That goes into a frame that has a lot of texturing and some textured finger grooves on the front. Above that, you have a double/single action trigger. Moving up from there, a slide arrangement very similar to the CZ75 and its clones. Instead of the slide rails being tucked up inside the slide, they're on the outside, and that means the slide rides deeper in the frame and reduces the bore axis. That's intended to improve the control of the gun. The sights on this gun are a simple 3 white dot setup, and the slide has serrations only in the rear. It also comes in full-size or compact variations with either a 3.6 or 4.3-inch barrel. It's a pretty basic setup. The key here is that the MSRP of the gun is $500, and they want Americans to buy the compact version so badly that they're knocking $150 off the top, making it a $350 gun. You have to email them directly to get the deal. It's USA@bularmory.com. Normally, I wouldn't be telling you guys about a deal. Like, I don't really like to promote that sort of stuff, but that's a staggering price drop. Funny enough, there was something about this gun that really stood out to me. I knew I had seen it before, seen something very similar. Then I looked up the Magnum Research Baby Eagle. It's nearly an exact copy with the exception of the safety position. I have a suspicion that the Baby Eagle has been a Bul Armory gun all along, and that Bul is just now getting into the US market. It's tough to say which came first, but either way, that price makes me want to find out if they really are the same thing. Plus, I mean, who doesn't love a cheap gun, right? There is so much more to cover. I think we might need the minigun. Izzy, you know what to do. First up in rapid fire are some new silencers from Wilson Combat. There's the Quell, which comes in 5.56, 30 cal, or 9mm variations and weighs in at 15.9 ounces. This is sort of your hard use multi-cal option. They claim that this is a new standard in terms of a hard use, one size fits all type suppressor. And to be fair, I don't know that there really truly is a ruggedized, hardened steel multi-cal can that exists before this. Pricing on that starts at $875. They also announced a new 22 can called the WCR K22. It's a long name. The idea with this one is lightweight and long-term durability. They also say that it is best in class in noise reduction, but failed to mention what the number for the noise reduction is. I don't know why. Other than that, it's fairly simple. 4.4 ounces in weight, T6 aluminum, and user serviceable. Pricing on that starts at $450. We also covered Black Collar Arms not too long ago with their Pork Sword tiny little bolt-action chassis thing. They're now offering that as a complete pistol. What's neat about it is that every gun is made to order, and they have a configurator thing on their website, which is fun to play with. I really enjoy doing that with cars and things like that. Like, oh, let me see what this option looks like and just build it out. Pricing starts at $899 for the 300 blackout version and $919 for the 308 version. It goes way up from there. I built out a 308 version with an optic and a really nice trigger and some other trinkets, and the price tag was approaching $3,000. That's a big jump. Either way, having a tiny little bolt-action pistol sounds like fun to me. Also new is a gun that I'm covering just for me. I'm not sure if you guys are going to like this, but hopefully you do. Beretta has announced a new over-under aimed at competition clay target shooters. With help from their shooting team, the new 694 is born. They're saying that it has improved ergonomics, an adjustable trigger, a new stock shape around the safety for better peripheral views, and a new fore-end design. It's meant to bridge the gap between their entry-level competition guns like the 692 and the top-end DT11. I don't know how many of you guys like seeing this sort of thing, but I freaking love a well-built shotgun, so there you have it, the 694. MSRP is $4,500. And it's funny because I would freak out if you said that price tag with anything else. But when it's attached to an over-under, I just go, oh, okay, sure. that's what it costs. Anything else, I would lose my crap over that. Wait, what's that sound? Oh. Yep, the struggle bus is back and Colt is on board. I'm going to try and keep this short because I'm sure you guys have heard about this already. Colt has ceased production of their long guns for civilians. There were a ton of articles on a national level stating that this was a result of the anti-gunners winning and an AR company shutting its doors because they felt this wasn't right to make anymore. Colt says that that's not true and that they're dedicated to the Second Amendment, but Long story shorter, they felt they weren't selling enough guns to justify the cost of doing it anymore. The exact quote is, "The fact of the matter is that over the last few years, the market for modern sporting rifles has experienced significant excess manufacturing capacity. Given this level of manufacturing capacity, we believe there is adequate supply of modern sporting rifles for the foreseeable future. The way I see it, no one wants to pay for overpriced Colt rifles anymore, so their sales were in the toilet. This comes on the back of Colt winning a $41 million contract to build rifles for overseas allies. They also claim that they will be focusing on expanding their handgun offerings, which could end up being a very good thing for them. Only time will tell." You know, guys, I've been thinking about getting a hybrid lately. Nah, not the kind of hybrid you're thinking. The handmade in the USA kind of hybrid with leather and kydex. The kind that is available for just about every popular handgun on the planet. The kind that's comfortable when you put it on and comfortable all day, even if you're a big guy. I might need a belt to go with it too. Crossbreed holsters will definitely check those boxes. And if you use the code TGC15 over at crossbreedholsters.com, you'll get a whopping 15% off your entire order. It's time once again for more Friendly Fire, the segment where I answer your questions from all over the interwebs. This time, our questions are coming from the TGC Nation Facebook group. You should definitely join that. Go do that. There's a link below. First up, Michael Regan says, "Would TGC be willing to organize or participate in a YouTuber to a movement?" I would absolutely participate in that, but I personally do not have the bandwidth to be the lead guy on something like that. The problem with most gun channels, if not all, is that they're small operations with really limited resources. As far as I know, no one has extra time on their hands. If they did, they'd probably be making more videos. That's the challenge we face in terms of being able to put something like that together. Sean Harold says, "What direction do you want to see the gun community move towards in the next 10 years? I would love to see a bigger focus, across the board on education and spreading the shooting sports, not just hunting or 3-gun or anything like that, and then nothing specific, but all of it. Since Sandy Hook, our community has grown substantially, and I'd love to see that happen without the threat of a ban causing it." Brad Zakowski says, "What's the best defense round for compact Glocks? The brand of the gun does not matter. It doesn't matter. My personal choice for defense is the Underwood Extreme Defenders. My second choice would be Federal HST. My friendly fire question to you guys this week: how do you feel about open carry? Does it help to normalize guns, or is it an antagonistic thing? Sound off in the comments below, and if you want to ask a friendly fire question, send that to me on theguncollective.com. And that is it for this week's show, guys. If you disliked the video, hit that button. If you liked it, hit like, get subscribed. Consider supporting us over on Subscribestar. We would really appreciate that. Be sure to check out our second channel called TGC Surplus. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon. Yep, it's over, but don't worry, you can click on the video up top to watch last week's show, and the one below that is the one that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Check them out and let me know what you think.